everyone, Peps and J-Dog here for a massive round 21 review. And first and foremost, apologies for coming to you on a Wednesday night, one night later, but unfortunately the great man, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, was a little bit unwell and we decided to push it back one night. So that's the reason for the Wednesday start. But you know what? We're here. He's healthy. This is going to be a cracking episode. I tell you what, it is chock full of football goodness. But before we get into it, I've got to check in with the great man because he is looking all right, and hopefully he sounds all right as well too. Jamie Wallis, welcome, my friend.
Hello. How are you? Hello,
how
all
are
our
you?
Listeners. I'm
how
well.
How are you, and how are our listeners tonight?
Oh, tell you what, yesterday afternoon, it's just that wash comes over. You know that feeling you get really heavy and tiredness, and for me, my back starts to tighten up a bit. Maybe it's old age, but I'm going to call
it like the Mark Neal era.
Struck down, but here tonight to do the show. Last night, no one would have wanted to see that. It was a mess.
Oh, that's all right. It couldn't have been as bad as some of the results coming through over the weekend because it was a shocking week of football. But we'll get into all of that. But first of all, everybody joining us live tonight. Donna J is back. Great to see her. Everybody listening to this on your smart devices, your headphones, your earpods, whatever. Thank you for joining us. We don't have a show without you. It's as simple as that. Also, bucket loads to get through, like I said. We're going to be going through the ladder really quickly. It's going to be a rapid-fire show. That is how much we're packing into tonight, 60 minutes. Getting into the ladder, spinning some magnets. What are we looking forward to in the next week? I have a brand new little segment as well, which Jamie doesn't even know what it's about. We're going to chat about the Rising Star. We're going to go around the grounds with the great newsbreaker himself, Jamie Wallis. And so much more to talk about. But once again, it's Christopher Pepper, the 377-game superstar of the East Keilor Football Club, hosting this magnificent show with our beautiful co-host, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis.
Oh, thanks,
ranked
Peps.
number 9 for his age group in Ironman. I say it every week. He tells me it's not real, but you've got to have a swing. You've got to have a tagline, and that's his. But it's great to see you. It's great to have everybody on board. Before we get into the footy, how was your weekend? I know that the Olympics had finished. It puts a bit of sadness back into your heart, but geez, it was a great weekend, wasn't it?
It was a good weekend, Peps. For us down here in Melbourne and probably most of the state, most of the eastern border of Australia, lockdown for us. So for us, it was just a lot of Olympics.
It's just a lot of Olympics. I've got to go with this one.
Mm-hmm.
My highlight, simple highlight, Boomers.
Mm-hmm. Boomers was your highlight?
Boomers was my highlight. I've never cheered so hard for a bronze medal in my life.
I like it.
I just loved it. I just loved it because it represented more than just a bronze medal. It just represented what the basketball community had been doing for many years. And if you got to see Andrew Gray's just shedding a tear over it, it was that tugged on the heartstrings. And that's what the Olympic spirit's all about. That's Peps, what it's all about. I loved it.
Where have our good country boys gone? The shooters, the shotgunners, where have they gone? All the clay shooters. We just seem to have dropped off the earth. That used to be our medal in Australia. It's our medal.
Russell Markey.
Now it's all gone to the Italians, the Israelis. It's gone everywhere else now.
Well, they don't make many good guns. They do. They make the Borellis,
the Berettas,
the Remingtons. I know all the guns because of John Wick.
But that was our medal, Peps. I feel we've lost it. We've lost a cultural identity by not winning anything to do with shooting anymore. We've lost an identity of ourselves.
You know what? But we lose it in shooting, we get it back in skateboarding.
We do.
We get it back in bike riding.
And athletics.
Oh,
athletics. What a performance, Australia.
How good was it? What about the high jumping Christian? How good was she?
Loved it.
She was just like giving me a bit of this every time she went, and the big fella upstairs said, you know what? I've got your back, Dale. And she did. Silver medal. Awesome. She almost got the gold too. But all right, let's get into it. Who's got the gold so far? I'll tell you who the gold is. And we're talking about the gold standard. It is simply the Melbourne Football Club right now. If we have a look at the ladder after round 21, my friends, it is the Melbourne Football Club sitting on top after their interesting game against the West Coast Eagles on Monday night, which we'll get into. The Doggies, Geelong and Port Adelaide. When did you ever see 3 teams sitting on 60 points and still have not locked in a final position in that top 4 in terms of is it going to be a home final or an away final? It is amazing. You got Brisbane Lions and Sydney Swans of 52 points. They had some upsetting results, especially for the Swans. Brisbane had a good win over Fremantle.
Mm-hmm.
West Coast Eagles, geez, the wet toast. They played 16 minutes of football, J-Dog, and almost pinched it.
It did.
GWS stole victory in a game that they should not have even got near after what they did to the Cats on Friday night. What a cracking game that was.
Yeah.
They literally had everybody out. Leon Cameron at one stage was putting on the boots. That's how desperate they were. Essendon, no good. Richmond, geez, they had to work hard to beat North. St Kilda and Fremantle all on 36 points. So they've all got a technical mathematical chance, as do Carlton.
Yep.
But percentage is definitely going to affect St Kilda and Fremantle respectively. Gold Coast had another great win on the weekend. I think the most wins they've had under Stewie Dew in the time together. The Hawks there, Collingwood, Adelaide, and the mob of North Melbourne. They've got the wooden spoon. I don't think anyone can take that away from them. And more importantly, they're going to pick up an absolute star as the first-round draft pick. But the way that they've performed literally for 3/4 of the season has been pretty good. They've been stiff. I think the first 6 to 7 weeks ruined their season. But that's the ladder.
Yeah.
Anything that stands out to you, J-Dog? Anything that's...
Not really. I mean, the fact that Western Bulldogs and the Cats had a loss over the weekend has really thrown open that top 4 again. As you said at the top of the show, there's 2 points separating top to the 4. I think the 4's locked in now, Peps. We can confidently say the 4's locked in.
Yeah, I think the 4 is definitely locked in. It's just going to matter who gets what.
It's the 8. It's that 8th position that is really interesting.
How many weeks have we been saying this? Does anybody here want the last couple of positions in the 8?
Yeah.
Wet toast. They're soggy right now.
Well, this week it's a Giants.
GWS, they won last week, didn't they? They'll lose this week.
Yeah. So the Giants have gone in this week, but then Richmond, Essendon, and Saints have all have climbed as well. But there's a bit of a reshuffle through there.
Kilda are 2 games behind. Literally, because they've got same points but no percentage. Yeah, that's what's going to hurt them in the long run. So They need to win their last 2. We're going to get into that tomorrow night on Tipped Out as well too. But it's exciting. It is exciting. If you had to pick a team to go in and a team to flop out, who would you go with at the moment? Do you reckon?
For mine, the Dons. Essendon.
Dons in. You'd like to see Essendon in?
I wouldn't like to see them in.
I know why I don't want them in.
Who?
Essendon.
Why?
Because it's fun. Just see Essendon supporters just sook another 12 months. But I think they're actually they're not a bad unit, and I'd be a little bit scared of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit scared of them.
Well, especially
I reckon I prefer Richmond. Richmond would be more... Actually, you know what? Keep the 8 as it is. I don't think the 8's going to change.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to change.
Well, the Giants have got half a game with 2 games to go.
Hey, you only need half a bar.
That's exactly right. It's not about the points you've got. It's about how you use them.
Not about the size of the wave. It's the motion in the ocean. All right, big man. Let's get back into it. So let's have a look at... look at the ladder. Spin the magnets. It's magnet time.
It's magnet time, my friend.
Let's spin some magnets. All right, big boy. So let's get into it, everybody. It's time to spin some magnets. Now, Charlie Keegan, mate, I love you coming into the show every single week, but by saying Melbourne to be dropped out of the 8th for supplements program and Essendon to come in, that is just stupid talk. I still love you, but that's just silly talk. We won't get caught in time.
I promote it.
You promote it. We promote it first. We've got to give it a sponsorship deal to get us out of debt. Rightio. Let's spin the magnets. I want to go with, I want to start off with a bit of bad news. Is that okay?
So we're going to go with bad news? Okay.
I'm going with Barassi first.
Haley off, Ellingworth on. Bloody weak as piss.
Okay. It's as simple as this, J-Dog. Upsets galore on the weekend. It was a tipster's nightmare. A complete nightmare. Okay? It was shocking.
Yeah.
But it was good because it just threw up everything. It started on the Friday night. They went in on oil fumes, petrol fumes, metho fumes, GWS, and they beat the Cats down at the Cattery.
Yep.
Couldn't ask it for anything better. I think everybody was just going, yes.
It was a great start.
It was a great, and I think Dad's Army, it's starting to hit them a little bit. A couple of the older guys getting a little bit tippity in the injury time. So Father Time maybe catching up on a few of these Geelong players. Tui was injured. Could be a couple of weeks. Will they get Mitch Duncan back? I don't know. Jeremy Cameron, how long is he away? Wheels on the bus might just fall off. Just fall off. Just fall off. We'll see what happens with that. And then you just go into some of the other results. Gold Coast had a magnificent win against the Blues on the weekend. God, I love Gold Coast. Tuke Miller, I'd turn for him. He's a star. He is legitimately a star. And if he is not in the All-Australian team this year, it is a farce. Because he's a guy that just says, boys, get on my shoulders. I'm taking you to Funky Town every single week. So I just love the way that he plays. North played a great half of football. Richmond had to pull the digit out and do something, and they were able to get the win. It was just excitement. Then we have Monday night. What about Monday night? Lightning Gate.
I know.
Everybody wants to put the brakes on Melbourne. You know what? They even had to stop the game to try and put Melbourne off their game.
Yep.
And they almost did. They almost did.
So, Peps, you're saying the upsets are bad, or are they good though, Peps?
No, it was bad if you were a tipster. I think I got 3. Okay. In our football tips, my auntie Rhonda didn't even tip anyone.
Yep.
Got 5.
Yeah.
She was wrapped.
Well, Charlie Keegan's saying he got 6 out of 9.
Yeah, his mum does it for him.
So bad if you're a tipster, fantastic if you're a footy lover.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, it shook the 8 up. The doggies lost. You think about it. The doggies win, they take top spot, can't move.
Yep.
Geelong take top spot, can't move. Port Adelaide, what a showdown. I'll get you to elaborate this week a little bit about that, because that was fantastic from a showdown perspective. And everything that Adelaide have been through during that week, for them to come out and do what they did, I reckon they're going to fall in a heap this week. I think they're going to be on such an emotional high this week that they'll fall in a spot.
Yeah.
Charlie wants to know, how do I know his mum is a fantastic tipster? Because she rings me every Monday morning to tell me so. It was just great results across the board, which just fixed up the 8. Like, just when you think teams should have had wins, they didn't. It just kept a little bit of edge on it. It was really good to see. So yeah, from a
we said it last year, Peps. We said it last year. We thought last year's end of the season was pretty exciting. This season has outdone it times 1,000.
This is, it is amazing right now. Like, we're sitting top 4. I think the top 4 literally is set.
Yep.
We still don't know who's going to be getting the home finals and the away finals. It may not even make a difference. They might all play them in Adelaide and Perth.
Hey, they all going to move away, because nothing I love more than games in Melbourne during grand final week.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's going to be interesting with that one. All right, so we'll get into a bit more about the games later on when we get into a few key things. But another thing, the AFL parade has been scrapped. And in my eyes, that sucks, because it's a major thing. Look, that's the whole reason why we have the public holiday in Melbourne the day before the grand final, so we can all go to the parade.
It's not a big thing in my world.
I just think it's nice. It's nice to get down there.
Where would you do it?
Bunnings,
Where would you do it?
What's that?
Where would you do it this year?
Oh, they're not going to do one at all.
No, but where would you?
Which?
Because we can't go.
If it was in Oxford Street. If it was in Sydney.
Yeah. Nah, it's a Melbourne thing.
Is it a Melbourne thing?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, I like it. We're from Melbourne, and I like it. All right. So it's going to be a bit of a shame. But it's been a tradition for many years. They go down to the steps. They hold up the cup. The captains. They do that. That shot that shows the crowd. I love it. I just love it. It's just gets you in the mood as you try to figure out who's going to go Norm Smith and how much they're going to win as you put your multis on as well too. So that's kind of cool as well. And the other thing I was really peeved about. Not
a good week. Not a good week.
Is the whole Tex Walker racism side of things.
Okay.
I did do my rant last year about it, and it just
yes, you did.
And pisses me off that in 2021 it's still something that we have to lower ourselves to. Like, you think, you can. When I say you can accidentally say something, that wasn't accidental. That was a deliberate sting at someone. Now, I haven't heard what he said. Rumors are wasn't flash at all. And to think Tex had been around with Eddie Betts, Charlie Cameron, these guys for many years and see what they went through, for him to go and do that himself, it's pathetic. And so I know we'll talk about it a little bit more, but that has just exploded. And the last thing, by Jingo, by crikey, the Carlton coaching saga. What an absolute farce. Is he dead man walking? He's dead man walking, isn't he, Teague?
Well, we're going to talk about later on, but and Peps, you had one more on your list of Spin the Magnus.
Yep.
And you had the MRO.
Oh, MR joke.
Unless your name's Selwood or Franklin, you're going to get put up.
How does Selwood get a fine when he lined him up? But the impact, it didn't cause an injury. He lined him up.
It's like, Peps, what's your catchphrase again? Every time we talk about the thing, it's not about the intent. It's about the outcome. Is that what you always say? It
is the Lenny Hayes syndrome, my friend. It's the good guy syndrome. Mm-hmm. And what cracked me up is that they asked Jason McCartney about what happened with that, and they said, "How come? What defense did you go in with? What video did you show, etc." Though he couldn't use the Bailey Fritsch one from the start of the year. He couldn't use the thrown elbow from Buddy Franklin because they have to choose something out of the catalog. There's like a catalog of videos and precedent that you can use, but it's from last year.
Yeah.
What a freaking joke that you cannot pull something out which would have got him off like that.
Yeah.
You had to find it closest to the pin. It just shits me. You get Andrew Brayshaw, right? It didn't look good. But I'm tipping he really didn't want to rip the guy's eyes out because if he wanted to, he could have done it a lot worse than what he did. And he gets a week for that. But Selwood potentially lines it up. And because he didn't connect properly, he gets off.
Yeah, well, he's still got his head. He's still got his head, though.
Oh, doesn't matter. The head's not sacrosanct if you're a Selwood.
And then you had the bullshit with the tackle on Bontempelli because he dropped him into the ground, which is just... Thank God that was off. Thank God he got off.
Thank goodness Mason Redmond got off. Have a look at that tackle. He had his feet off the ground because the guy was so tall.
Yeah.
I think it's a problem with the whole cataloguing of the way it goes and the way that they work it out. It's not clear cut. They've tried to make it clear cut and it's not.
Maybe as I said, Peps, maybe they need to bring in someone who's played the game in the last 5 years to sit alongside maybe Christensen and just go through some of these things. Someone who's a bit more speed and relevance on the game and know how it works closer to the fact.
I don't actually think so, J-Dog. You know what I think it is? It's just use the thing called common sense and look at it and go, you know what? It was okay. It was a tackle. That's all it was. He got up, continued to play. There was nothing in it. It was a perfect tackle. So
I'm saying that, but having a play who may have been a bit more closer to that and may have just been like, you know what? That is just a tackle. Let's play on. It's not even needing to go through the tribunal.
I look wholeheartedly agree. That's what they should have done. But did they do it? No.
No. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Perhaps we've got a massive show.
All righty. Now, quickly.
3
yes.
votes.
I'll say it again.
3 votes.
Right, 3 votes. 2 meter heater.
Oh.
Where did it come from, J-Dog? Tell me, where did it come from? Did you see it coming? Did you see what the big 2 meter Peter was bringing?
It's his one good game a year.
How good was it? 7 goals, 10 disposals. Did you see some of the bangs from 50?
Yeah.
He flushed them.
Yeah.
He's been good. He's been a really good pickup for us in this year, whether it's been in the ruck or moving forward. He's been more than handy.
Just stand there with his arms up.
What you're hoping to get out of him, pardon?
Yep. Stand there with his arms up. He's got 3 meters something, and he just
3 meter Peter. And he's got red hair. Like he's already against behind the 8 ball with that. And he's just would he be the best redhead to play AFL since Acker? What do you reckon Ed Richards has given it a fair chucking at the moment?
Yeah, Richards has got a pretty good one there. You've also
Neville Bruns?
Yeah, no. Matty Rowell.
Matty Rowell, yes. His first, but he's been in a bit of injuries.
He has. But Big Pete. Whew.
Oh, Big Pete. But look, like I said, the other big thing to come out of it, if I had to give my 3 votes as well too, was just some of those results, some of those games. Tuke Miller playing great footy. The Hawks having a good win on the weekend as well too. Yeah. Mitchell racking up 44 possessions on the weekend again.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that there's only like 12 of them were contested. So once again, getting a bag load of possessions, but sheepdogging around the back, giving gimme, 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 gimme. And yeah, so not much there, I reckon. And by the way, what about Aaliyah, Mohawk Aaliyah?
Oh,
Oh, Jamie, get the Kleenex out.
What is it? What's just lock him in for All Australian this year, Peps.
Reckon?
Lock him in.
Yeah,
Across the
I'll get
half-back line.
Yeah, we'll put him across that. He'll be standing next to Jake Lever, so it'll be okay. Yeah, he was good.
Well, that both what a back line that would be.
Aaliyah,
Jake Lever May and Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, and then Tom Stewart.
Oh yeah, true. Tom Stewart, that would be
exactly right. So I think there was more bad than good this week, but it's just a massive week of footy, and that means that we're about to get into our Rising Star for round 21. And I'm handing this one over to you, big man, because he is from your club, Miles Bergman of the Port Adelaide Power. Tell us about him, big boy.
Oh, Miles Bergman. So rewarded with his performance against Adelaide. The showdowns are always never, ever one where you look at the ladder and go, that's going to be an easy walk. It's always a tough game. So he's won the Rising Star nomination for round 21. 23 disposals, 4 tackles, 4 clearances, and most importantly, he took the game-saving mark with seconds to go as a Power held on to win by 4 points. Running defender, he was recruited from the Sandringham Dragons with pick number 14 in 2019, and failed to crack it for his debut season last year because he had an injury and all those sorts of little things. But this year, he has came into the team and has found himself a nice little spot there, and especially with a couple of mentions of retirements for Port Adelaide coming up a little bit later. I do see him part of our future in a big way.
Oh yeah, no, that's good, and you need those ones because you're going to be turfing a few out, but you need to be bringing the youth in. You need to be bringing the youth in, which is good too. So
and not bad for a guy who couldn't play last year in the Sandful because of 2020 COVID. So not bad.
Yeah, good on you, young fella. You got a career in front of you. Alrighty, so you know what that means, everybody. It means that we've got through the entree, we've got through the pre-dinner drinks. Now we're getting onto the main meal, the main smorgasbord of news, and we know that there's only one person who can give us the news. We're going around the grounds with our newsman, Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. Over to you, big man. Where do you want to start this one?
Paul, let's start with Tex Walker. We know we're going to be there. Let's just talk about it quickly. You've also given a bit of a wrap up in what you've just spoken about, but as we know, Tex Walker was at a Sandful game 2 weeks ago when he has directed he has directed racism slur at Robbie Young during a Sandful match back then last weekend of July. It was reported to Adelaide that was the case, and we found out last Friday that Walker was handed a 6-game ban as part of the fallout from the racial slur, and has also taken time away from the Adelaide Football Club to let it heal and all of that. Peps, there's 2 interesting points I want to talk about this one here, if that's okay with you.
Go for it.
1, really like the way that Matthew Nick spoke about it when fronting the media over the ban. He spoke about his own personal experiences and the impact of the Indigenous culture on himself and playing with Indigenous players as well, which was fantastic when he spoke about Adelaide Football Club and what it means. Amazing. Then we didn't really get anything from Mark Rasciuto, the club CEO, talking about it on the radio, so not a whole lot from him. And then awkwardly on Monday afternoon, we got this really awkward piece to camera that the Adelaide Football Club decided to do with a very scripted media piece with Taylor Walker himself. So he gave an apology last week, and then on Monday this week, he did this, scripted piece to camera, and it just was so wrong and felt so awkward. I think they did an okay job, and should have just maybe left it there. I don't know why they went on Monday afternoon at around 6 o'clock to go with this really awkward piece of Adelaide Football Club media crap. It was just rubbish. It was bad. It was really bad.
And sort of take it one step further, then we find out that Cozzy Picker copped something via social media this weekend.
Yeah, Aaliyah copped it over Saturday night.
Are we that just dumb as a nation? Like,
yeah.
What? It's a game, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Look, I sit here and look. there's things that you say and in the heat of the moment and you regret them.
Yeah.
But it's you have a look at some of the history. Like we could go back in 1999. I don't know if you remember this. You might have been about 4 or 5 at the time, J Dog. Peter Everett racially abused Scott Chisholm from the D's. Now we're talking 1999. So put this in perspective. He got suspended for 4 games and donated 20 grand to charity.
Yeah.
So there was only 2 games difference, yet we're talking 22 years difference. 20 grand back then is a lot different to 20 grand now. Jamie Sherman did the same thing. Jamie Sherman in 2011 did a gold unidentified Gold Coast opponent. 4 games, education program, and another 5 grand.
Yep.
It just doesn't. We just don't seem. And then we've had the Nick Nat Nui copying it. We've had Goods doing it. We've had Eddie Betts with the banana.
Yeah.
Betts again. It's happened way too often for it to be just pass it. And then I've put it up on our Facebook page. The interview Eddie Betts did last night on AFL 360.
Yep.
And you could just see the pain in his eyes, the pain in his face, just having to just talk about this again.
Yeah.
And for a couple of white blokes, it's hard to put ourselves in those shoes because we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
We get called a dickhead or a prick or something and we fire up over that. Imagine copying 10 times as worse, 10 times a day for your entire life.
Yeah.
By just uneducated Neanderthals.
Yeah.
And it's a disgrace. And I love the game of footy. And I love the people who listen to this. But to come and have to spend, 5-10 minutes talking about this type of subject again for the second year in a row, it's disgraceful.
Yeah.
And that's not what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on a guy who's probably had a career best season for a majority of the year.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And we're talking about a legacy that 250 plus games for the club.
Yep.
Ex-captain, potential best and fairest winner, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah.
And he's going to go out remembered for this. He may never play again.
He may not. That may be very true.
Not right. It's not right.
And look, we make mistakes.
Right.
We say dumb stuff. It's all that sort of thing. But geez, it's just. I expected better. You've got to expect better from.
You expect that he was like I said, he was a captain of the club.
Yeah.
And he's played with people who have been through this many, many times. He would have seen what they've gone through.
Yeah.
Seen what their experiences are, educated himself to try and connect with these players and tell us about what it is.
Yeah.
And then for him not to accidentally say, he walked over to him and said it. That makes it even worse. It was premeditated. It wasn't accidental.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks that we still are talking about this in 2021.
The highlight is Peps is once again it's unconfirmed reports, but at the moment they're saying that it was an Adelaide Football Crows staffer who heard the comments and has self-reported that. So if that is the truth, then that is a positive step, that it is a recognised thing that we're starting to get people within the club starting to recognise it and actually dob in their own players. But yeah, you just cannot do that. It's mental. It's absolutely mental.
It is mental, and yeah, and I saw the bloke sitting there behind him in that video, and I was like, no, good. No good.
So yeah. Anyway, let's keep talking. Let's keep going through all this. So yeah. So Peps, let's talk about it. Let's talk about your game. Let's talk about
my
your
game.
Peps. Let's talk about your game.
Well, let's talk about our game. So if anybody has not heard the news or been sleeping under a rock over the last couple of days, the last quarter of the Melbourne West Coast game went for 59 minutes. Why is that you say? Well, approximately 6 or so minutes into the last quarter, the umpires decided to stop the game due to the threat of lightning strikes. So they went off for about 25 minutes, came back on. Melbourne were 35 points up at that stage and happened to win the game by 9. Typical Melbourne. What a joke. Now, I don't know. Listeners out there, right? when you were growing up playing footy, you'd play through hailstorms, torrential rain, thunderstorms, droughts. Nothing would stop.
No
Starship
center,
said, nothing can stop us now.
no center square because it's just a
No
mud
centre
pile.
square. It was mud. No clash jumpers. Everybody wore the same thing. It didn't matter. You just played the game. But this occurs because it was 10 kilometres within.
Ugh.
Oh, give me a break.
Hey, it can snow in Canberra, but it can't lightning
Rude
strike.
Boy has picked it beautifully. It'll snow, but we're not going to do it. And you know what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. There's no way you're going to sue the AFL if you get struck by lightning. You're going to be dead. So it's don't worry about it.
And Peps, to make things worse, which is an old man complaint that I'm now entitled to have.
You are right.
8:10 on a Monday night. It's too late. Far too late.
It's way too late anyway, and it makes it even worse when you got to add on an extra half an hour because. But how stupid is it? And then to make matters worse, what they were going to do is they were going to judge the game at the score at halftime.
Yeah, I did.
Now, the funny thing about this was that before halftime, West Coast were in front. When the siren rang, West Coast were in front. And about half a second after that, Cozzy Pickett's goal sailed through, Melbourne were in front.
Yeah.
So it's shocking over there. It's shocking. It should have been, look, that's the score, or who was in front for most of the game. I would have gone with that.
Yeah.
That's what I would have gone with. Or at that time, they weren't going to, they had to kick six goals to win. They'd kicked 5 for the game so far.
Yeah.
They almost did.
Hey, I like what Judge is coming with. It's 6:10 over there. Yeah, just bring it 30 minutes forward, 40 minutes forward.
Exactly. Just bring it forward.
Game.
Everybody just shuts down work in Perth at 5 o'clock anyway. The stadium's just across the road. You can walk across there. Not a big issue. Started at 5:30. Goodness gracious. Unbelievable. But yeah, it was way too late. And that was the other reason why we couldn't do the podcast last night, because we had lightning strikes in the studio. What was that?
What time did you crawl into bed on Monday night?
Oh, I reckon I crawled into bed about 20 past 11. Way too late. Way too late. Rightio. Now, I know we're going to talk about some injuries later on, but there was, I think, one injury that just really tugged on the heart. Actually, 2 of them, I must admit.
Yeah.
One ACL, which I'll get you into a moment, and then I'll get into the other one as well. But, tell us about big Josh Bruce.
Hate to see it. Sunday night game. Poor Joshy Bruce blew out his ACL. So that is him done for the whole year. Apparently he's going down the al natural path and is not going to be returning until basically this time next year. So sad to see it happen. Sad to see, especially with the Bulldogs right on the precipice of maybe doing something special in September. And Peps, as you put here in the notes, it puts the Dogs in a bit of a bind as they lose their main goal kicker, who's kicked 48 goals this season, and also puts pressure that goes to Norton and English now to stand up in finals football, which they can, but it's not the norm for them to be the main goal kickers. No,
well, they were supposed to have Stephen Martin play more of a role this year. That's why they brought him into the club, to throw English down forward. But we've seen so far this year, it's happened in Brisbane. As soon as Hipwood went down, it all went on to Danaher, and he's made that a massive challenge and hasn't been able to cope so far. And I think you take that up another step now in finals time. So I think they're going to really struggle. Rude Boys just said about the D's, the Cats, or the Lions for the flag. I still don't think the Lions can. They just don't have enough firepower up there. Danaher is still a little bit too fluky at the best of times, and he needs to have that other key forward to take it off. And I don't think McStay's going to be able to do enough for them to be massively potent. They did play Fremantle on the weekend, so be it. But it puts all the pressure on Norton because Bruce was almost taking the best defender. Norton could fly for his marks. Now we haven't got that. It means that English might have to go forward. That means they're going to bring in Sweet to ruck. Who are they going to do? And you're also going to remember you got Jamaru Ugle-Hagan down there. He's a young bloke, so he hasn't got as much experience down there. There's just
3
a lot
games,
of them.
something like that.
There's just a lot of them there too.
Yeah.
Our boys, someone just mentioned about my boys, the D's. Well, I think we're in a bit of a different situation because Ben Brown started to pick up. He's actually been playing all right, but last week he really did play really good game. Like he's getting his hands on the ball, kicking straight, getting up the ground, making contests. So in every week he's playing, he's getting more. That leaves Tom McDonald to roam free. But if McDonald's not there, you've got Jackson to go down, you've got Gordon to go down. You've got plenty of options. And if some of those go down, then you've got Wiedemann to bring in as well too. So they have got some room in that area. And if they all go down, you can bring in big bad Mitch Brown if you want to as well. So I think the Ds aren't as bad in there. But yeah, I still think the ball, when it comes to ground, you still need to have those small forwards. And I think the doggies with Waitman, McRae around there, the Bond can still kick goals. But you do need to have you do need to have those options down there.
Yeah. Yep.
An interesting thing before we move on to the next one. The D's were lucky the Lightning didn't strike at quarter time. They gave up after that. Well, you've got to put it in their perspective. They're 35 points up with 15 minutes to go. You've been going into the rooms for half an hour. You've cooled down. The last thing you want to do is run back out there. Yeah, they should have still attacked a little bit more, but who was to see? West Coast had nothing to lose at that particular stage as well too. So the roles had completely shifted. One went into defensive mode and the other one went into full attack mode. So,
to me, Peps, the Ds just looked like they didn't have enough killer pythons at halftime. I mean,
they had
four quarter time.
No, you mean fifth quarter time? No, fourth quarter time. No, they just didn't want to be there. Like they've been in quarantine all week. They just wanted to get out of the joint. They've cooled down. It was just, they won. They're on top of the ladder. They're going to hopefully get a top 2 position when they beat Adelaide this week. That's all we can ask for. So
play Port first week of the finals.
Oh, imagine that, J-Dog. Ooh. What would we do? Oh, we might have to do a live stream of the game. I might break COVID and come up to where you are, Geelong way. All right. Now the bad news coming out of Carlton again. Did you want to quickly go into that?
Sure. I will quickly go on it. Apparently all reports coming out of Carlton and all those people who seem to be in the know, and I'm taking this directly from Tom Morris. Anyway, but basically there's lots of reporting and lots of talking out that David Teague's papers are essentially stamped with Carlton privately looking ahead to 2022 and formally sounding out some big-name coaching prospects, according to senior Fox Footy reporter Tom Morris. Teague is out of contract at the end of 22, but is considering the club's below expectation results this season and well-publicised football department review and the fact that some of the best coaching minds are available at season's end, the pressure has continued to intensify. Speaking to Fox Footy's On the Couch on Tuesday night, Morris said that Thursday loomed as a D-Day for the Blues and Coach Teague, with the board to dissect an independent review into the club's football department. Peps, question without notice.
Yep.
Are David Teague's days numbered?
I think so.
Yeah.
But
it feels that way.
It feels that way, and I do feel sorry for him. And here's why.
Absolutely.
How many times have we said over the last X amount of weeks, Carlton have a habit of just burning coaches?
Well, according to Mick, this is the third coach they're going to burn under that same board leadership.
Fourth coach.
Okay.
You had Ratton?
Yeah, Ratton, Malthouse,
Bolton,
and then
Teague. All in 10 years. I think 10 years.
Insane, isn't it?
They've got no idea. What do we say? What do we say when we talk to our staff? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing time and time again and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. They've just got to realise that the coach doesn't. You've got to get your players right. Their recruiting has been atrocious.
Yeah.
So I could get $650 a year at Carlton, I reckon, this year.
To be the orange boy.
To be the orange boy. And I don't even bring my own knives. All right? They're shocking. They've messed that up completely. And apparently they're going to go out and they don't learn their lesson. Apparently they're going after Chera as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And outside of their marquee players, they don't really have much. It's just a stupid scenario, and a coach isn't going to make that much of a difference, to be honest. You haven't got the cattle. And how many times have we said it, J-Dog? You got to get your off-field right to get your on-field right. And a great one has just come in that, yes, there's too many clubs in Melbourne, but have a look what North Melbourne did. They've got their off-field right. They got the right person in to lead that mob, and they've been going. I reckon they've been better this year than Carlton have. And at the start of the year, even though the wins don't reflect that, North have been more of a consistent team than Carlton have all year.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of those. It's crazy to think that last year, people were going, shit, Carlton are looking good. I remember you and I having this conversation this time last year, going, well, Carlton are going to miss the finals, but geez, they played some good footy this year. Now, far out. They
I'd
look
say that.
miles off it. So, Peps, I think what you're saying has complete merit. It's the shepherd or the flock. I think this case here, it's the actual farm. It's not the shepherd. It's actual farm now is wrong. The people who are running the farm need to clean out, look at what they're doing.
They don't even have a football director.
Re-elect, whatever. Exactly right. They need to just get things, because if it's not the flock, it's not the shepherd, because they've fired 4 shepherds. They've gone through 2 lists now. It has to be the farm.
Mm.
And that just needs a clean out. Whatever that looks
rebuilds
like.
have they had?
In the 10-year period since 2010,
at least 2 to 3 rebuilds that I can remember.
Two
good ones,
2 big clean outs, and then probably a third sort of regen.
No good, mate. Absolutely no good. So Carlton, this time next week, we could be announcing a new coach.
We could
Apparently
be.
the report is going to be made public tomorrow. Is the inside word so. Tipped out tomorrow night, we might have some news, or definitely by next Tuesday. I say that again, Tuesday's episode.
I wonder who it could be. Do you reckon it'd be a Collingwood offshoot, or do you reckon it'd be like a Buckley or a Clarkson or someone who doesn't get the Collingwood job? Or could it be a third party? Could it be a Michael Voss?
I really do hope it's Adam Kingsley
for Collingwood or for Carlton?
Collingwood.
Yeah, because I think you've got money on him, don't you?
I got money on that. Yeah, I got money on that. I got that money on that one. That's why. Now,
apparently he's done very well.
Yeah. Well, I hope he has too. And but look, outside of that, the other tragic news to come out of Carlton today was that Sam Doherty unfortunately has to undergo chemotherapy again after his testicular cancer diagnosis has come back again.
Yeah.
So once again, we get on the Mark Neild reality bus and realize that, everything that's been going on with this whole COVID situation, the racism side of things, and we hear stories like this, that the fact that I can't go down the street and get a cup of coffee because I'm locked in, it's really quite petty. Right?
Yeah.
So I just hope that he gets better, because that's not good. It's not good. And no one should go through that as well too. So all the best to him and his family as well.
Yeah.
Righty.
All right, mate.
All right, big
time to do one of your faves.
Oh, it's time for is it time for?
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Oh yeah, it's Splash the Cash time, everybody. It's time to talk about contract news. Who's getting the cash, and where could people be swinging into very, very shortly? Okay, the big one to come out of it in the last 24 hours is Josh Kelly. He triggered the 8-year extension, approximately worth $8 million. $8 million, J-Dog. $8 million for Josh Kelly? 2 words for you, GWS. Sucked in.
Oh,
my God.
$1 million player a year? You're talking about... You're talking dusty money.
Yeah, dusty money.
You're talking someone who's being paid more than Bontempelli. This is mental.
It's mental, and it makes me laugh every single time. I don't know what's funnier, the money or the years.
Oh,
I reckon the years are even worse. The years are the funny part.
What is he? He's 25, so 30.
I think he's going to be 34 by the time he finishes up.
Far out.
I hope he doesn't have that. I hope he's got that contract thing in that if he still doesn't play, that he gets the money, because he's
and if his hamstrings give out, there's no clause, because that's probably going to happen to him.
Exactly right. All right, so good on luck to you, number 22. Thank goodness he's not at Melbourne. That'd be like 3/4 of our salary cap gone.
Yep.
Jack Billings from the Saints yet to sign with the Saints. They reckon that it's going to be okay, but nothing I don't believe has been offered. And Port Adelaide sniffing around for his services. J-Dog, would you like to have him down at your mob?
Yes. Very good player.
Jack into your team?
Very good player until St Kilda brought in the mob squad. Very good until that point. Yes, I'd have him.
Yeah,
I'd have him.
exactly. I remember he destroyed us at the G1 game about 3 years ago. I ended up walking out at 3/4 time because it was that bad.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a gun. He's a gun. When he's on song, he is a gun. So he might just fall on nail of love at St Kilda. Jake Riccardi, GWS. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because of what's happened with good old Josh Kelly getting the cash. Is there going to be enough for him? I don't know. Can't get a game. Plenty of interest from teams in Victoria, including I think my club because he played football under Choco Williams at Werribee. So there's a bit of looking around for him. So good luck to him. Bobby Hill talks of begun GWS. You're not going to get much, Bobby. I'm sorry because Josh has taken all the cash as well as Whitfield, Cornelio, and Toby Green. Jamara Ugle-Hagan, another 2 years at the kennel. That's good. I don't think he was going to go anywhere anyway, even though he couldn't get a game. Okay. And Zach Butters and Dylan Moore hoping to lock away deals with their respective clubs quite soon as well. So, J-Dog, that's all.
The money.
Here we go.
Peps.
Money talk.
That's where we splash the cash, everybody. That's where we splash the cash contract times. And when we have more news, we'll share it with you right here on Lace Out, the number one non-club AFL podcast this side of the Westgate Bridge.
Peps, good question there from one of the co-hosts of the Porches podcast. Craig Jones has said, is Billings worth $450 a year for 3 to 4 years? Would you pay that for Billings?
Yeah.
$450? I'd pay that.
The average
comfortably.
player's on about $350, so it's not much more than the average player.
I'd pay probably $550 for him.
No, I'd go $450, but I'd offer him $3. I wouldn't go $4.
Yeah.
I'd go $3. All right. So, splashing the cash as people getting contracts. Unfortunately, J-Dog, we've got some news to come out as well too, because it's this time of the year that people unfortunately start to leave our game, and we've got some farewells. So it's a new little segment. I just wanted to throw it out there because there's been some, I reckon, about 6 retirements this week, and so I thought I'd just give a bit of a shout out to these guys. So I've just got something that we can just play in the background for us as well too. So a moment, J-Dog. Let's get this one going. Alrighty, so we're going to start with Mark Murphy. Mark Murphy plays his 300th game this week. It's going to be the 6th Blue to ever achieve that milestone, which is magnificent.
It's amazing.
And it'll be his last game for the weekend as well. So he said, I'm going to go to 300 and I'm going to finish on that. Only 77 behind the legend myself, but that's okay. 2-time best and fairest winner, All-Australian in 2011. He's been there through the bad times, played a couple of finals. You know what? Number 1 draft pick. Couldn't get any more out of himself.
Has only been there for the bad times.
He's been there from the bad. There wasn't many good times, was there? It was a lot of bad times. He's put up with a lot of crap. And apparently, the only club that he's got 2 winning records at the moment, one of those is against Gold Coast. And if they lose to Gold Coast last week, I think it was, he won't have any more winning records against any teams. He's lost to more teams than they've beaten. That's got to suck, doesn't it? All right, Stephen Hill from the Fremantle Dockers. 13 years and 213 games of Fremantle. Tried his heart out. Got to a grand final. He's got the most out of him. His body's just let him down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. All right, Chris May, 245 games for Freo and the Pies, 14 seasons, 2 grand finals, and great hair. Like he between him and Mundy, they've brought the perm back into the AFL. So thank you much for your contribution to
You're
the game.
wrong.
Patrick
Pritis
Ambrose.
was the perm man.
I forgot about Pritis. Special. Patrick Ambrose, 88 games in 8 years at Windy Hill.
Yeah.
Good on you, my friend. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my lover. This one's going to be a close one for you, Jamie. Tom Rockcliffe, 208 games across Brisbane and Port Adelaide, 2-time best and fairest. All-Australian in 2014. What else can you say about this guy? His career at Port Adelaide probably didn't go as well as he wanted to.
No. And then he had clots this year, blood clots in his legs. So, Jesus. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck to your new career. He's 32.
Yeah, good on him. I think he's going to stay as a Port development coach at Port. I think that's what he wants to do as well.
Yeah.
And the last one I want to quickly highlight, which is probably the saddest one out of them lot, is Patrick Venables, 22 years of age, only gets to play 21 games, but out of those 21 games, he got a flag in 2018 and has to retire due to head trauma.
Yeah.
head trauma, from an incident a couple of years ago. That's sad.
Mm.
So goodbye to you. You were the one for me. So to the retirees, all the best for your whatever your future endeavours are. And this is just, like I said, a nice little way for us to say thank you for your contribution to this great game. Whether it was 21 games or 300, you played a special part in our hearts.
Very good. All right. Injury time, Peps.
Or injury time. Okay, injury time. What do we got, J-Dog?
All righty. Okay, so we have Melbourne defender Jaden Hunt. We sidelined for a month with an ankle injury. Hunt underwent surgery. Yep. Underwent surgery, sustaining an injury during Monday night's game against West Coast. Adelaide ruckman Riley O'Brien's season is likely over because of a knee injury. O'Brien will miss this weekend's clash against Melbourne and is in doubt to return for Adelaide's last game of the season.
15 goals then.
Following a week against North Melbourne. Star Hawthorn forward Jack Gunston is hopeful that he'll be fit for day one of pre-season after training and was forced to undergo another surgery, a back surgery. Gunston had surgery on his back in December and missed the first 6 weeks of the season this season. St Kilda will sit down.
I'd have him.
I'd
have Gunston. Oh, imagine him just sitting in the forward pocket, just kicking 30.
It'd be handy, you're right. St Kilda will sit down in the coming weeks to determine the future of defender James Frawley after opting to send him for shoulder surgery that has ended his season. It comes as the Saints strongly consider a recall of fellow veteran defender Dan Hennebury against the Geelong this weekend.
I totally forgot about Hennebury.
And that'd be his first game of 2021, so that's why.
Oh, jeez, hasn't he milked that contract?
The Bombers, it's a bit of a watch on Heppel, who missed last week with a thumb injury, so hopefully they get up this week for him. Carlton Sam Walsh should overcome an ankle injury sustained on the weekend, while Levi Casbolt is also fit again following a knee problem. Geelong, Jeremy Cameron just needs to pass training this week in order to be selected after his third right hamstring injury of the season sustained 6 weeks ago. Lockie Henderson and also O'Connor are likely to be fit, along with Isaac Smith, who was rested last week.
And Zach Tui also with a hamstring as well. So I don't think he's going to be playing again this regular season. It's only 2 games.
And as I said, Bulldogs, the big one there was Josh Bruce going down an injury late in the loss against Essendon. 12 months out. We won't see him until next year.
Can I say something, though, to the Essendon supporters out there? Kudos to the players that were there just with him, looking after him, just making sure he was okay. That was classy.
Yeah.
And you should be very proud of your players because, I thought that was just once again, it just took the colours off the jumper. We're all footballers. He did in the last, 4 seconds of the game?
Yeah. Oh.
No good. No good at all. All right, buddy. Let's quickly get through your beautiful question of the week. The listener question, which was mint sauce versus mint jelly. Now, the overall totals, was it a popular question amongst the listeners?
Hit and miss, hot and cold. Yeah. People just said gravy.
Yeah, they didn't get the question, did they?
That's okay though.
You either pick mint sauce or mint jelly. There's no other option.
That's okay.
I do agree with you have both. You got to have both.
Mint sauce, and
but
jelly?
I definitely go the mint sauce.
You got mint sauce, not mint jelly.
Nah, mint sauce.
No, I'm mint sauce. I thought you were mint jelly.
Mint jelly. They sung some good songs too. Mint jelly. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
I don't know. So, Peps, I actually haven't got a question this week, so we might throw that over to the listeners. What questions they want to ask?
Actually, here's the thing, right? Listener questions. This is the listener question for this week.
Okay.
What question do you want? What do you want to know about J-Dog or Peps? What question do you have for us? And we will answer them next week. Ask us anything, and we will give you the answer. You ask the question, we will give you the answer. Okay, so it's an AMA. Ask us anything. Anything. Ask us anything.
Ask me anything.
Ask me anything. So ask me anything or ask J-Dog anything. That is the listener question of the week. What do you want to know about me or J-Dog? Simple as that.
Let's call it AUA. Ask us anything. AUA.
Ask AUA. AUA. All righty. 1 week at a time, everybody. 1 week at a time. Games this week, J-Dog. Plenty of movement at the top of the ladder. Plenty of movement into the bottom part of the 8. Don't worry about the bottom part. They're getting their footy trips all organised within 5 kilometres of their homes. Who's your game? Who've you got your eye on this week?
Well, we've locked it in, haven't we now? This week's been locked in?
Yep,
I think it's all set away.
Yep.
I think tonight they settled the draw.
Yep. Round 21? 22.
Let's have a look who actually... Oh, that's a delicious game.
Friday night?
Yeah.
Friday night. We're just going to go with the Friday night delicious Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
Giants versus Richmond. Basically, who wins is in.
Yeah.
And who's out? You're out.
Yeah.
What was that?
Though saying that, I'm also a huge fan of Dockers and Eagles as well, though.
Well, that's going to be a bottom 4 spot as well, too. Who's Saints play? Saints and Cats? Saints and Cats? That's a GMHBA stadium. Yeah, Cats should win that.
Yeah.
Saints were good last week.
Yeah, they were good.
First questions come in. Are players who wear long sleeve jumpers soft? No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
They deceive the opposition because when they run out Justin Parker, the opposition look at him and go, he's wearing a long sleeve. There's nothing underneath that. But they're hiding a sexy rig that just blows them off the park. I did that for many, many years. I was
all about performance.
Justin Parker loved it when I gave it lace out to
yeah.
him in the forward line for many, many years. So that's a loaded question. You know that I was never soft. Rightio.
Peps, according to the records, you're the one who invented the kick with the outside of the foot because you just never middled one.
It's called a check side, my friend. All right, hey listeners, that is a huge episode. That was our round 21 review. Everybody listening to this, hey, can you do us a favor? Just give us a like on iTunes, share it with a friend. All right, just tell someone. Go listen to this podcast. It's awesome. Don't worry about all the the ones sponsored by betting companies and all those wankers. Peps and J-Dog. We're honest and we're good looking. So
can I answer this question with Nick first?
Yes.
Nick, I would agree with you that O'Leary does wear a long sleeve, so I do agree, but so did Chad Wingard.
J-Dog, thank you for a fantastic evening. And may I ask you the question, how do you want your football in a long sleeve jumper?
I like my footy lace out, Peps.
Fantastic. And so do I. Have a great week, listeners. We'll see you at the regular time unless Jamie doesn't get a case of syphilis or another venereal disease. And we will see you next Tuesday. Good luck. We'll see you tipped out tomorrow night. All the best.
See you, listeners.
Thanks for listening to our latest episode. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. I'm your host, Chris Pepper, and with Jamie Wallis, we give you your footy how you want it. Peace out.